Hi guys. First, I would like to say thank you for visiting thejulianway.org. We're so excited about this ministry and its potential going forward to be a place of healing and peace for both the able bodied and disabled. I'd like to take a couple minutes and talk about really what is the language that is most appropriate to use for the disabled context and in these discussions. And that in and of itself is a very challenging and very interesting question because often the language around disability depends more in my mind about what is gleaned and gained from listening to those you know with disabilities than from any set standard of political correctness or anything such as that. For example, I tend to believe that one can somewhat interchange the terms um, individuals dealing with disabilities and disabled persons. I think it's perfectly acceptable to do that. But then again, that's just my observation and my opinion. There is even a more, I suppose, a more radical move within the disabled culture to reclaim and repurpose some language that might have been considered offensive in the past. You see some disabled individuals, particularly those 35 and under, using words like crippled or handicapped to describe themselves as a way, as I said, of reclaiming language that was used to harm and giving it strength and giving it a pride of identity. But really, I think the discussion around the language of disability, as I said in the beginning, is a lot more about knowing the people that you know that have disabilities the best you can so you're able to determine what is most authentic and most loving and caring for those you're around in the disabled community. And we all have to be a little bit daring and unafraid to make mistakes and have honest conversations about terminology and about a person's and a community's place in the world. One of the terms we use, as you might notice from the website, is disabled families. And you might have read in the paragraph on the site that we use that term because we believe that when one individual in the family has a disability, every member of the family relates to that disability and interacts with that disability in a very unique and a very personal way. So it affects all members of a family, whether they be disabled themselves or not. And we want to make disability something worth celebrating and something that is as we state, a part of God's diverse creation. And that's why we use disabled families. It's very important to us to give people the space to reclaim that for themselves and to learn what that means for them. But here again, this question of terminology is challenging, and I would never force anybody to adopt a label that I would give them if it's not something they're comfortable with. So this discussion, as with all discussions that are important and relate to personal identity, is about a lot of listening and a lot of honest conversation. And that's what the Julian Way is all about, is creating those spaces of peace and dialogue and honesty so we can move towards the kingdom of God. Thanks, guys. Blessings. Bye bye.